This is Jordan Tower with JT News. Make sure you smash that like button, smash that subscribe button. Well, what started off as Drake just wanting more money, okay? So he knows his worth, okay? And Drake took a deal for like $400 million for a certain amount of albums a couple of years ago, and he's pretty much delivered on that whole package. I think it was like 4 or 5 albums, something like that. He got right to work. He dropped one with 21 Savage. He dropped some like techno album. Then he dropped For All the Dogs. He dropped a couple albums, right? And they were coming to make another deal. And Universal didn't want to pay him more than $400 or $500 million for another deal. I think he wanted $600 million. I can't remember the exact specifics because that was a whole conversation a year ago. But he wanted a big amount of money. So I guess when the whole thing happened with Drake and Kendrick, they just got behind Kendrick a little bit more. That's what Drake's implying. And it does seem like it. There was more playlisting and all that. Even though Kendrick did do his thing, obviously he made a song that really did take off. And you can't deny that, okay, yeah, Drake might have lost this, right? But Drake didn't get any support. It's obvious. Plus, Drake was always arguing that, hey, this guy's calling me a PDF file. I can't even continue this anymore. This is going to ruin my brand deals, right? Drake was talking about instances that possibly could have happened, but he was kind of at fault a little bit with the talking about Kendrick's wife. But, I don't know, going the PDF route is a little bit more harsh, because it's like, I don't know, there's just something about that that's just like, it's not what I don't know. It's disgusting, right? So it's like, it's just like, that's right. We've seen plenty of people put hands on their wives and continue a career just fine because it's like, oh, he's just very aggressive. But once you get into the PDF thing, it's like, you're disgusting, bro. Like, you deserve to be underneath a jail, And, Drake just likes younger females. It's not like he's a PDF file. That's crazy. But Drake recently won Discovery in court. UMG was fighting Discovery. So now he can look at all their emails. He can look at, promotional companies paid for, emails talking with Spotify, because the UMG doesn't want it to be uncovered. The botting, we all know a lot of artists use bots. Okay, a lot of labels use this. Just like back in the day, they use scanning. They overscan. People would have a great first week, because they would pay for the extra scans. That's definitely what happened with Lil Wayne and Carter 3. Even though it was an amazing album, they tacked on an extra maybe 200,000, 300,000 to make it look like Wayne sold 1 million the first week. The first week, that's a lot. Okay, they probably tacked on a good 25% with the extra, because it creates a better week the next week because the hype is there. It's like, damn, Lil Wayne sold 1 million. What am I missing out on? You get that fear of missing out, Just like a lot of people click on, if you're going to, it goes to this. If you're looking to repair something in your car, you're going to go to the video with the more views because you're like, oh, people like this one more. You're just going to naturally gravitate to that one. So we saw this week, Spotify was removing tons of bots, okay? Kendrick didn't lose that much. People were like talking about, oh, he went from 120 million down to 100 million. He gradually got there if you were tracking it. And it's because the Super Bowl boosted him up, okay? Did they add a little sauce on top? Yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure they did. Ross made a big deal of that. I'm sure there's plenty of big artists, that bought. Just like there's plenty of celebrities that use bots to make their followers look bigger on Instagram. That's just what people do. They fake it. They fake it beyond to make it bigger because they already made it. So Kanye, in this interview with Academics, he was talking about, oh, Universal's going to be a big trouble, and they don't want Drake to peek behind the curtain. because it'll expose a lot. It'll expose emails that maybe they tell certain artists, you got to speak out against this, otherwise we're not going to do this and this and that. And, you know, Kanye hates Universal. He hates the head of Universal. He just hates him. You know, it's just that's one of his big gripes, is that Universal and Adidas. You know, he hates them. So supposedly UMG is now offering Drake a big settlement to make this go away. Like, hey, we don't want Discovery. We don't want this. After the court said that Drake's legal team can now get Discovery, they're like, nah. We don't want you seeing all the emails between everybody pertaining to especially this, because this was a big moneymaker last year for them to have each song going back and forth. They were like, yes, keep them fighting, you know, because it was the streams were going up, opportunities were going up. Kendrick Lamar has wild opportunities now, and it creates more opportunities for UMG to make money. So this is going to be interesting to see if Drake gets a settlement now. But when he gets a settlement, is Drake going to want in the settlement? If I was Drake and I was doing a settlement with UMG, I might want my walking papers at this point, because I'm going to be like, wait a minute. How is this going to work for the future now? Because you're not going to like me anymore. You just had to pay me more money than I originally wanted in my second deal. You're going to have to pay me $250 just for this settlement, and then we have to re-up on a deal, right? So, and you might not want to, maybe you want to just give me a deal to lock me down now as punishment. You know, maybe they'll make Drake go away. Do you want someone in control of your career that now has a spite against you? You know, they hate you. I don't know about that, you know. But if Drake gets $250 million and they have to do another deal, where would he go? Like, would he be independent? Is Drake ready to go independent and have the powers that be keep him off playlists and make him try to go away? I mean, they've been doing everything they can. Now, I think contractually they kind of had to like somewhat support this album, because I'm sure it says in Drake's contract that he can do work with Party Next Door and people that are on his label. Just Universal's going to get their cut, and they probably have a standard cut that they're getting out of that situation. So, yeah, this is going to be interesting. Drake's actually poking the beehive and killing the bees at the same time, which is, you know, rare. Usually, when you go up against the label, and, you know, this might have something to do with him being half Jewish, man. My thing might be on his side, because we all know that the Jewish lawyers and everything, you know, like, usually it doesn't so much work for people that aren't Jewish, because they run the entertainment business. That's just it's how it is, you know. Yeah, we'll see. But this is interesting. And Drake's having a lot of success with Nokia now. Maybe this is Drake's year where he takes everything back, man. Anyways, and I always say those Drake diss songs to Kendrick Lamar were highly underrated by the public. Like, he was saying some stuff in there, but, you know, people, I don't know. Kendrick said, "My bite to this and this, and see what he really means." You know, they get into this deeper meaning thing. It's like, I like Kendrick's music a lot, trust me, but it's just like, the deeper meaning is, you know, he's really saying Drake's mother is, you know, it's like, okay, you guys are making things up at this point. Anyways, I appreciate you all. This is Jordan Tower with JT News, and I'll check you guys in the next one. Peace.